talent.
Angeke. Asimashini.
Into esizoyenza la kule sikole izoba ukuhlonipheka kodwa. Shakespeare.
Sarehasa tonight, tomorrow, bangathi yastopa, sekulithi.
Yes or no?
Nathalie.
Hello everyone, welcome back to ASR, African Stories Realized. Unfortunately, we haven't had a chance to check in with the Big Five in a while, so please bear with me as we recap episodes 10 to 24 of Youngins Season 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Episode 10 picks up in Ramatuba's office as he announced to the Big Five that Lesedi had been arrested for starting the fire that took TK's life. The group celebrated, unaware that Amo was the one who framed Lesedi to protect them. Mahlatsa apologized to Amo for how he had been treating her, and the couple reconciled. At assembly, Principal Ramatuba announced that Olifants High would be hosting a talent show to commemorate Heritage Day and raise funds to help fix the boys' dorms, which were damaged in the fire. Following assembly, Kaya tried to smooth things over with Butle, but she resisted and later told Kaya that she needed space because he had taken her for granted. However, Kaya showed up to a talent show rehearsals to support Butle, after which he apologized and promised to do better. The episode ends with Mahlatsa and Amo agreeing to sleep together after their first attempt was interrupted by the fire. Episode 11 picks up at the girls' dorms, with Amo confiding in Alex and Palesa ahead of her special day with Mahlatsa, and the duo was noticeably excited at the potential of Amo finally losing her virginity. Meanwhile, Mahlatsa also confided in Tumelo about him and Amo doing the deed, but Tsepo overheard and announced it to the rest of the boys who were bunking in the hall, and later to Pearl and the rest of the class. However, the couple was determined to follow through with what would be the first time for the both of them. Tumelo then went to Alex for a favor, requesting to use their room to shoot some of his content. However, his first live stream did not go so well. Meanwhile, Kaya continued to support Butle as he helped recruit students for the talent show. Back at the girls' dorms, Palesa informed Amo that her roommate's mother had removed her from the school following the fire and Lesedi's subsequent arrest, as the entire school blames him for the unfortunate events that occurred since the fire they believe he started. The episode ends with Palesa declaring that Lesedi must die. Episode 12 picks up with the guilt of Amo's actions catching up with her as she tried to look forward to the consummation of her and Mahlatsa's relationship. Butle hyped her up and gave her some advice before reporting to Kaya that Amo was poised to lose her virginity to Mahlatsa. Meanwhile, Alex and Palesa advised Tumelo to make more original and authentic content. However, on his next live stream, Tumelo exposed one of Palesa's clients, revealing his kinks, which Palesa had gossiped about earlier. At the Olifants Hall, preparations for the Heritage Day talent show were underway, but Ramatuba was not impressed with their TikTok dances, instead forcing them to produce Shakespeare-inspired show instead. Back at the girls' dorms, Mahlatsa arrived at Amo's room for their big night. However, Amo's guilt got the best of her as she admitted everything. The episode ends with Amo admitting to Mahlatsa that she framed Lesedi to protect him. Episode 13 picks up with Amo trying to explain herself to Mahlatsa, but he wasn't hearing it. He returned to the hall where an excited Tsepo and the rest of the boys welcomed him until they realized that he didn't seal the deal and quickly switched to making fun of him. A disappointed Mahlatsa even refused to confide in Tumelo as classmates started speculating what could have happened between the two lovebirds. Meanwhile, preparations for the talent show weren't going so well as Ramatuba became growingly frustrated with the students despite Butle begging him to let them do their own thing. Amo and Mahlatsa finally came face to face since her confession, and once again Mahlatsa put his morals before his love for Amo, revealing that he can't forgive her for what she did, and Kaya wasted no time rushing to Amo's side to comfort her. Meanwhile, Tumelo's recent live stream is going viral. However, he quickly faces backlash when Palesa's client attacks Tumelo for exposing him. Palesa and Alex defended Tumelo, but the episode ends with disappointment as they found out that Tumelo broke their trust, gossiping about Palesa on his live stream. Episode 14 picks up with Tumelo dealing with the fallout of gossiping about Palesa on his live stream. Despite Tumelo wearing a disguise, Alex and Palesa caught up to him, with Palesa demanding that Tumelo pay her back for all the business she lost because of him, and Alex demanding that Tumelo remove his equipment from their room. Meanwhile, Butle and Principal Ramatuba continued going back and forth on the direction of the Olifants talent show. Kaya encouraged Butle to do her own thing, telling her that by the time Ramatuba saw the show, it would be too late to stop them. However, during rehearsals, Pearl found out what the students were up to and encouraged them to mix things up and compromise by adding some traditional moves to their act. Meanwhile, Dumelo confronted Matlata about his treatment towards Amo, forcing Matlata to reveal that Amo framed Lesedi to protect him. However, Dumelo was on Amo's side, unsuccessfully trying to convince his friend that only a girl that truly loved him would go that far to protect him. The episode ends with Amo revealing to Kaya what she had done to protect the ungrateful Matlate as he comforted her. Episode 15 picks up on the day of the Olifants talent show, with Bushle leading preparations. Meanwhile, Matlate decides to apologize to Amo after realizing he reacted poorly to her confession. However, the talent show started before he got an opportunity. The parents and other guests arrived to support the students, and they didn't disappoint, putting on an extravaganza with poetry, dancing, and singing. But Ramatuba was not impressed, with only Pearl preventing him from stopping the show. After the show, Butle got praise for putting it all together. However, Ramatuba still summoned her to his office where she was put on probation. Tumelo apologized to Palesa and Alex for betraying their trust, but the two friends were not ready to forgive him. Meanwhile, Matlata desperately tried to find Amo so he could apologize, but she was with Kaya, who had been making moves all day. The episode ends with the two sharing a kiss as Teppo hid behind the bushes, live streaming it to the entire school.
لما تمليدرنت
Askis, kay budilin ma.
I'm tired of this.
And it's either umarisay laka or resay na choose.
Relationship yami nawe iphelile.
Uyasangana.
Okay, sathe sayithola inja yase-Olifants.
Ngizoyenza sure ukuthi uyafisa ukuthi azangise kuleso.
Episode 16 picks up with Amo rejecting Kaya after their kiss, insisting that she loves Matlate despite Kaya's desperate pleas. Amo and Kaya return to the hall, where they were forced to go through a walk of shame. It was quickly revealed to the two that their kiss was shared online and going viral, with Matlate following Amo outside to confront her. Kaya tried to intervene as a fight broke out between the two boys, with the rest of the students joining the brawl. The following day, Tumelo comforted Matlate as he went through his first heartbreak. However, the tension was still thick between Matlate and Kaya, with Tepo and Mazambani making fun of the situation. Meanwhile, Butle was going through it. Amo was also having a hard time, with everyone treating her like the villain. Tumelo confronted her, revealing that Matlate was ready to make everything right with her before she betrayed him. Amo asked Tumelo to set up a meeting for her with Matlate, and the whole gang came together. Amo insisted it was a mistake, but Kaya said nothing to back her up. Butle remained silent throughout. However, fireworks erupted when it was revealed that it wasn't the first time Kaya and Amo had kissed, and angry Matlate needed to be held back by Tumelo as the meeting ended worse than it started for Amo. The episode ends with the disappointed Butle kicking Amo out of the room they share. Episode 17 picks up with Butle demanding an apology from Kaya. However, it wasn't the one she expected, as he apologized for wasting her time before ending their relationship. An angry Butle unleashed a tirade on Kaya in class, announcing to the classmates that he was bad in bed and didn't satisfy her. Meanwhile, Tumelo tried to convince Matlate to talk to Amo, but the boy was still in too much pain to even consider it. He couldn't even do his homework, which disappointed Pearl. Amo caught up to Matlate and tried to apologize, requesting that they get back together, but he wasn't ready to take her back, insisting that Amo was not a good person. Tumelo advised Amo to give Matlate space to cool down before trying to talk to him again. The beef between Amo and Butle got worse when their two groups of friends clashed after Palesa and Butle exchanged words. Butle then started bullying Amo, putting posters of her throughout the school, with the rest of the students trolling her at every turn. Kaya tried to make a move on Amo, but she once again insisted that she wasn't interested in him. Meanwhile, Tumelo tried but failed to keep the big five together, with Matlate insisting he was done with Amo and Kaya for good. The episode ends in the girls' dorms, with Buhle warning Amo that she'll make her regret ever coming to Olifants High. Episode 18 picks up in the girls' dorms where Buhle and her friends were bullying Amo, stealing her towel while she was in the shower, and writing very bad things about her in the girls' bathroom. Tumelo tried to keep the gang together, but Buhle was not interested, and Mahlatse, who was still moping around, forced Tumelo to pick a side following his breakup with Amo. Mahlatse then attacked Tepo for making fun of him, with Kaya intervening. A confrontation ensued between the two friends, with Kaya admitting that he loves Amo. Mahlatse raised his fist, ready to punch him, but he kept his emotions in check and walked away with a defeated look on his face. He continued icing out Amo, who tried to tell Kaya once again that she doesn't want him, but the persistent Kaya insisted that he loved her, forcing Amo to once again reject him. One of Butle's friends spotted the two talking and immediately rushed over to Butle, claiming that she saw the couple having a passionate conversation, instigating Butle to confront Amo while they were having lunch at the cafeteria, revealing to the entire school that Amo's father killed her mother. The episode ends with Amo attacking Butle as a fight ensued between the two girls. Episode 19 picks up in Principal Ramatuba's office as he tried to discipline Amo and Butle for fighting in school. However, the two girls almost came to blows in the principal's office. Ramatuba was forced to break them up and ordered them to clean the school toilets together. Mahlatse then checked on Butle and admitted to her that he was struggling with his first heartbreak and couldn't stop thinking about Amo, with the two friends agreeing to support each other following their respective breakups. Mahlatse then confronted Tumelo after he saw him sitting with Kaya at lunch, once again forcing him to pick a side, even threatening to end their friendship, but Tumelo told him to get over it. At assembly, Principal Ramatuba announced that they had raised enough money at the talent show to restore the boys' dorms, which were damaged by the fire. Meanwhile, Amo and Butle reported for their punishment, where Pearl lectured them about sisterhood and advised them not to fight over boys. The girls confronted each other, with Butle revealing how much Amo had hurt her after she took her under her wing like a big sister. Butle went on to tell Mahlatse that Amo doesn't deserve him, advising him to not even think of getting back with her. Mahlatse took Butle's advice as he met up with Amo for a final confrontation, officially ending things with her and ordering her to block him on all social media. Meanwhile, at the bathrooms, Tumelo once again apologized to Palisa for exposing her client before Mazambane arrived. The episode ends with the three students sniffing on some drugs. Episode 20 picks up with Tumelo high as a kite after he took a hit of some drugs with Mazambane and Palisa. The following day at the girls' dorms, the matron discovered that Amo was squatting in Palisa's room and forced her to return to the room she was assigned to, despite Butle's objections. Meanwhile, the boys were finally allowed to return to their dorms. However, Mahlatse was visibly disturbed by returning to the site of the fire that took TK's life, the fire that he started. With the Olifants prize giving fast approaching, Butle and Mahlatse bonded over their marks as they both anticipated being named top achievers in the top 10 of their respective grades. Kaya started stressing over his marks despite Sefako trying to cheer him up. At the bathrooms, Tumelo pestered Mazambane and Palisa for another fix, but they cautioned him about getting addicted. The episode ends with the three students once again sniffing on some drugs. Episode 21 picks up with Tumelo once again high as a kite, streaming live in the middle of the night while Mahlatse tried to get some sleep. The following day, the students attended prize giving, with Kaya holding out hope that he'll be named in the top 10. To Mahlatse's surprise, he was ranked second amongst the grade 10s, with Amo stealing the top spot. When it came to the grade 12s, there was no surprise, with Butle being named the top achiever and Kaya missing out altogether. The biggest award of the night, the top achiever from all the grades, went to Amo, which Butle was not happy about. After the prize giving ceremony, Mahlatse consoled Butle for losing the award to Amo. Pearl confronted Tumelo about his marks after he missed out on the top 10, encouraging him to focus on his education. Sefako also tried to comfort Kaya, who was bummed out after not making the top 10. Meanwhile, Butle took Mahlatse somewhere private, and the episode ends with the two friends making out. Episode 22 picks up after Mahlatse and Butle slept together, which means Mahlatse isn't a virgin anymore, and he was eager for more, even going to Mazambane for some condoms and searching online for new moves, which he tried on Butle the next time he saw her. However, Boozley made it clear to him that their little affair stayed between them. Meanwhile, Kaya approached Ramatuba for help with improving his marks, and the principal offered to tutor him, but it was a complete disaster. Amo, the top achiever, saw how bad it was going for Kaya and offered to tutor him. He first rejected the assistance, but returned to take Amo up on her offer. After their session, the two had a moment with Amo insisting that she still cares about him as a friend. Meanwhile, Tumelo continued harassing Mazambane for more drugs, even going as far as finding out who his supplier is before stealing the number from Palisa's phone and ordering a fix for himself. The episode ends with Tumelo's habit growing as he takes a hit of the drugs he ordered from Mazambane's supplier. Episode 23 picks up with Mahlatse and Butle still getting it on, with both of them enjoying it. However, Butle insisted that Mahlatse put himself out more and talk to other girls, which Mahlatse seemed reluctant to do. Amo continued tutoring Kaya, and it seems to be going well with the two getting closer, especially after he came out of his latest test confident he had passed, with the two sharing a hug and stealing a kiss before Amo ran off. Kaya chased after her, insisting to Amo that he still wants her. Meanwhile, Tumelo was riding high, seemingly not sleeping as he got his assignments done in record time before delivering them to a suspicious Pearl. Tumelo was all over the place, being more eccentric than usual and even flirting with Sefako, who invited him over to his room. The episode ends with the former lovers making out after professing their love for each other. Episode 24 picks up with Tumelo waking up with a headache. Sefako approached him trying to talk about their hookup the previous day, eager to get back with him, but Tumelo didn't even remember any of it as he rushed to the nurse for some medication that could help with his headache. Later in class, Tumelo, who seemed to be going through withdrawal symptoms, disrespected Pearl, leaving without permission and returning to his room, where he called his father and lied to get some money for more drugs. Amo almost caught him in the act, confronting him about his recent behavior. Meanwhile, Kaya and Amo got closer as they shared breakfast together, with Amo later admitting to Kaya that she still has feelings for him. On the other side of the school, Butle encouraged Mahlatse to try his luck with some of the girls in school, but he was not interested, insisting he didn't need them because he had her. Mahlatse even tried to kiss Butle in front of her friends and bought her chocolates, forcing her to remind him that they're not dating and they could never date because she's in matric and he's in grade 10. The episode ends in the boys' dorms, with Tumelo once again getting high as Sefako tries to call him. Tumelo has gone full-blown drug addict, and they did well to show us how his addiction coincided with the group breaking up following Amo and Kaya's affair. Tumelo really tried to keep the big five together, and without them looking out for each other, he started making some very bad decisions. The most concerning thing is when he comes down from his high, he can barely remember anything that happened while he was in that state. Kaya has been very bipolar this season. I don't like how he persistently tried to pursue Amo despite her rejecting him, and how he continued to undermine her relationship with Mahlatse even though they were friends. Then there's the laid back Kaya, who cares about his schoolwork and supports his friends. That's who Amo likes, but I feel like it's more of an act until he gets what he really wants, and I wouldn't be surprised if he loses interest after he gets to sleep with Amo. And in that sense, I think Butle and Kaya are made for each other. I think Mahlatse will live to regret not forgiving Amo when he had the chance. However, I do think Amo was a bit disingenuous because she insisted she didn't want Kaya, she wanted Mahlatse. But after she broke up with Mahlatse, it didn't take long before she went back into Kaya's arms. Now, Mahlatse losing his virginity may complicate things for him and Amo going forward, with Butle also suggesting that they couldn't date because Mahlatse still loves Amo and his heart belongs to her, despite their breakup. Butle simply used Mahlatse to make herself feel better, following Amo and Kaya's affair, and after Amo took the Top Achievers Award at prize giving, which Butle felt that she deserved. We are already at the halfway point of Youngins Season 2, and it's been epic. The storyline isn't as connected as last season, but I do feel like we've gotten a lot more action and drama. I apologize for falling behind with the season, and I'm in the process of catching up. I had to end this recap here so we could discuss the last 14 episodes, but look out for the next recap of episodes 25 to 36, because we still have more drama coming from the Big Five and the students of Olifants High in the second half of Youngins Season 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is ASR for the love of African filmmaking and storytelling.